Thank you very much, guys. Let's hear from Nuguri and ShowMaker. Today's POG on the side of Carbon Gaming. And ShowMaker picked up actually 7 votes out of 12 in game number 2. How do you feel, guys? Today, if we win all the remaining series, I heard that we will be able to head straight to the finals. So I'm happy that this race started off really smoothly. ShowMaker with 1,000 POG points, you are now on the first place. How do you feel? It feels nice to get the most POG points here, and also I'm happy that I performed well.
당연하지만 계속해서 그걸 향해서 노리는 그런 구도가 되는 것 같습니다.
네, 그렇습니다. 1경기 정말 좋은
In game number 1, you guys were doing a fantastic job. However, there was a little bit of a mistake in a very early phase of the game. What kind of feedback did you guys have after that game? What went wrong in game number 1? Well, the Korean Prince, their top side, were able to pick up some kills. During the game, we had a lot of mistakes coming out on the top side of the map. Well, we had priority on the top side of the map based on their picks, but we were not able to execute it smoothly. And the opponent's jungler and opponent's mid laner were able to pick up a lot of kills. I think it was our fault to let them pick up a lot of kills. So I mean, we've been performing better normally, and also so the feedback was about just like let's focus on our own performance and get rid of our mistakes. Nuguri, even after letting your opponents take away a first blood onto you, you managed to come back. What's your thought on those kind of storyline? Me getting first blooded? Yeah, I mean, Nuguri, you sometimes get killed for a couple of times, but you always manage to come back and go ahead of your opponents. So I guess Nuguri has some issue with his earpiece right now, so ShowMaker is helping him out. Well, I mean, we are now in the first place and we are having a good result. We are having a fantastic teammates. So we have a lot of tools to come back, even when I'm a little bit behind. And when Carbon Gaming was getting kills on the bottom side of the map, you were soloing down the Herald by yourself as well. Can you repeat the question once again? I missed it. So there were a lot of accidents happening on the bottom side as well. So Nuguri was taking a Herald by himself. So did you kind of have this pressure to solo carry the game? Well, we thought that we were better than the opponents, so we weren't feeling too much pressure, to be honest. We didn't really feel like we were going to lose this game, so we weren't feeling any pressure. I guess you guys had this confidence that you guys are a stronger team. Yeah, I mean, you have to play with confidence. I think that's a great point. Nuguri, can you hear us now? Yes. After the first match of the game, Doran mentioned that I think I performed quite well, and the next match Nuguri will be playing, and I hope he saw my performance and share any compliments about me. Did you watch that series? I was playing solo queue to kind of warm up at that moment, so I didn't really watch that series. But before I go to bed, I'm gonna watch his preview and do a very thorough VOD review. Any message over to Doran? I did watch the highlights of that series, and he was like a Pikachu as a cannon in that game. So before I go to bed, I will try my best to learn his super plays in that game. And Nuguri, so you always go with the very unconventional rune choices on the top lane champions. But this time around, you went for Conqueror for both champions.
제이스 같은
For Jace?
경우는 이제 좀 거의 조합 상대
Well,
조합보고 많이 드는데
I take runes based on the opponent's
쟁압박을 좀 많이
comp.
느낄 때 약간 근데 지금
I go with face rush when I feel a lot of pressure about the potential ganks. But today, on Camille, we had Twisted Fate, and I thought there will be a lot of damage needed for 2v1, 2v2 fights. I guess you take a look at the whole comp of the opponents, right? Not only the opposing laner. Yeah, I tried to find the best rune into the opponent's comp. And ShowMaker, now, coming into the dispatch, a lot of teams are actually opening Twisted Fate after the nerf. When I first read the patch notes, the Unsealed Spellbook got nerfed, Twisted Fate got nerfed, so I thought that it's not gonna be viable anymore, but today I kind of realized that it's actually still viable, so if you're confident in that pick, I think you can still play it. Twisted Fate is not about like harassing or abusing the lane state. It's more like focusing on the macro and going to the side lanes. So some people actually say it's gonna be better for the opponents to let ShowMaker play Twisted Fate to kind of neutralize his lane priority. But I can also say this, that I can also help my top and bottom laners with the Twisted Fate macro. In game number 2, you guys are having a huge lead on the top side of the map, so let's take a look at this highlight. Did the players calculate that they're gonna survive? I had Ignite, so Graves, after he used his dash forward, we knew that we were able to get an easy kill, but after I used my ultimate, I kind of realized that my teammates were so low on HP, so it was a little bit worrisome, but it went all okay. What about Nuguri? Yeah, I mean, after Graves used his dash, but I haven't based yet at that point of the game, so we didn't really have enough damage, so that's why we were getting so low. Outside of LCK itself, we want to talk about Yone. And ShowMaker, you were the guest of the Right Korea show about introducing the new champions. And you played with Pawn. So you are playing Yone, Pawn was playing Yasuo. So what's your thought on this champion in competitive matches? I did play Yone yesterday on solo queue. I think this champion has a really high potential. I think it's really similar to Yasuo. It's viable, but some teams will still not really like it, but some teams might prefer it. What about you, ShowMaker? Well, Yone, I think my teammates' opinion also matters, because Yone is somewhat like Yasuo, you know? Your team Yasuo and the enemy team Yasuo thing. So I have to listen to my teammates. As a teammate, Nuguri, what's your thoughts? It can be your Yone as well. If ShowMaker says he's gonna pick Yone, I think teammates will be okay. But if I say so, I think my players, my teammates will be so against it. Damwon Gaming, even other players in other regions are rating you guys as a really strong team. What do you think about this kind of comments? Is that a pressure? Is that or just a good praise? Well, we didn't have a really good start in the spring split, but now we are stepping up. So it feels really nice to get all the appreciation. And now that we reclaimed the first place, I just cannot be happier. The first place competition is real. And if you guys secure this spot, you will head straight to the finals and Burrow set. It's gonna be like 70% for Damwon Gaming to keep this spot. I think we had like 3 mountains on the way, and we have overcome 2 of it, and we have 1 left. I hope we don't get nervous in that series, and I hope we can pass through that final gate. And I believe we are almost there, so I'll say 70% of possibility of heading straight to the finals.
다 70%라 하는데
Everyone said 70,
저는 잘 모르겠고요.
but I'm not sure.
그냥 저희가 엄청 잘해야 된다고
I think
생각해서
we just have to perform really well, so I want to say 50%.
이렇게 1위 자리를 지켜내기 위해서는 앞으로도 연승을 이어가셔야
In order
됩니다.
to secure this spot, you guys have to keep the winning streak rolling. And your next opponent will be Team Dynamics, and Rich has been performing really well recently. How are we going to prepare for that series? Watching Team Dynamics, I'm serious, they are really fierce for every fight, and it seems like they don't really think much and they just really go aggressively for every fight, especially in the last series. So we have to be ready for their playstyle. And Nuguri, you have faced all the top laners here in the LCK. Who was the most tricky one to face up against? Every player has different strengths, but I died a lot to Doran. So whenever I face Doran, I kind of die a lot. So I gotta pick Doran. And also Rascal is a really good team player, so he's also really tricky to play up against. I guess Doran must be so satisfied with this interview today. And lastly, ShowMaker. Any last message for Dama Gaming fans?
저희가 남은 경기 꼭 다 이겨서
We will make sure to win all the upcoming series and get the first seed of the playoffs and head straight to the finals. So please keep supporting us. And that was the POD interview from Nuguri ShowMaker from Damwon Gaming, taking down Korean Prince 2-0 tonight.